Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am Lillian. So if you're joining us for the first time, please click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified anytime I post a new video. So if you're yet to follow me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram at Dress to Fit by Lillian. Thank you so much. So guys, today we'll be learning how to make inbuilt corset and mermaid skirt. So if this is what you'd like to learn, please stay tuned to the end. Don't forget, feel free to ask questions. Whatever questions you have, feel free to ask. And if you have any suggestion, the comment section is open. Thank you so much. Let's get into it. So guys, for this particular tutorial, we'll be needing hairstay. Okay, so you'll be needing hairstay, and then you also be needing boning. Okay, you also be needing boning, and then you also be needing bias. Okay, and then you're also going to be needing cup. Okay, you're also going to be needing cup. Then you're also going to be needing nets. Okay, skin nets. So you're also going to be needing skin nets. Okay, so you're also going to be needing nude crepe or screen crepe, whatever you call it. So we're also going to be needing skin crepe. And then for me, I'm making use of this net. Okay, so I'm going to use this to create my mermaid, and then my skin crepe is going to be the upper part, and then my lining. Okay, so it's actually a matter of choice. Okay, it's your choice. You can use whatever material you want. Okay, so I'll be making use of this net. Okay, so this is the net I'm going to be making use of. Okay guys, so for styling, it's actually your choice. So for styling, I'm going to be making use of this applique. Okay, so I don't want to actually leave out any details. That is why I'm actually showing you everything I'm going to use. So I'm going to make use of this applique. This is size 3. Okay, so this is size 3. And I'm also going to be making use of this crystal. This is known as crystal. Okay, so I'm also going to mix it up with this color also, just to spice the look up. Okay, so I'm also going to add this. So I'm also going to add salt. So guys, so if there is any other thing that I left out now that I'm going to include, I will let us know along the line. Okay, so guys, so today we'll be learning how to make an inbuilt corset, as it is commonly called. Okay, so I already have a pattern here. So instead of going all over drafting pattern, I decided to already draft out a pattern, so we'll just go ahead and then style. Okay, so this is my snatch pattern, as you can see. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so this is the 1.5 inch as usual. Then this is my knee line. Okay, and then I took it down to floor. Okay, so this is my floor length, that is from my waist to floor, and then I added additional 6.5 inches. Okay, so I added additional 6.5 inch. Okay, so what I did, I just took the, this is a snatch pattern like I said, so I just took it down. Okay, so I just took everything down to the full length. Okay, this is my floor length, waist to floor, and then like I said, I added 6.5 inch. Okay guys, so this is it for the front. Okay, so as you can see, the only difference here between this and the pattern we drafted before is that this one is actually from my waist to floor. Okay, so I took it to floor plus another inches, or 6.5 inches. Okay, so this is it. So if you don't know how to draft, this is the back side. Okay, so this is the back part. Okay, so like I said, instead of going all over again, I have this pattern, I have the process of this pattern on my channel. Okay, so I will include the link on the description box. If there is anyone that don't know how to draft this pattern, I will include the link on the description box so that you go check it out. Okay, you can actually use normal basic body pattern. Okay, if you don't want to stress yourself with this snatch pattern, it's actually okay for you to use your normal basic body if that is what you want. It's just the fitting that will be a bit different. Just go ahead, whatever your underbust is from your shoulder, take it down. Okay, and then for my neck depth, I use 3.5 inches because I'm going to have illusion net. I'm going to have skin net here, so I don't want it to be hanging on my neck, so I came down by 3.5 and I used width of 3.5. Okay, so guys, hope this is clear. So what we are going to do now, we are going to go ahead and then style this together. So like I said, you can actually use your normal basic bodies. Okay, the only difference is the fitting. The fitting will be different, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't mean you won't actually have a good looking fit. Okay, you're going to do, remember how I usually mark my underbust. You're going to mark your underbust on your front, on your both front and back pattern. Let me label this as front, okay, and then back. Okay, we are going to mark your underbust, your shoulder to underbust on your front pattern, and then you come over to your back pattern. You're also going to do the same thing. You're also going to mark your shoulder to underbust. Okay, so guys, so first thing, the first step we are going to take now is, as usual, if you have actually watched my previous video on underbust tightening, I'm just going to extend this to the allowance. So if you have watched my previous video on underbust tightening, you will know how I usually do it. Okay, first of all, what we are going to do, you are going to take the circumference of your pattern underbust. Okay, so you are going to take the circumference of your pattern underbust. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to take the measurement of my pattern underbust. Okay, so guys, this is 8.5 inches. As you can see, this is 8.5. Okay, so I'm going to label this as PU. Okay, I'm going to label it as PU, pattern underbust 8.5 inches. Okay, then plus, this is what I got from the front pattern underbust. So I'm going to come over to my back now. Okay, and then I'm going to take the measurement of what I have here on my back pattern underbust. So I'm just going to connect it to this broken line. So I'm going to take the measurement of this part. Okay, so what we have here is 8.5 inches plus 8.4. Okay, so guys, I want you to understand something. The fact that I have 8.5 here and then 8.4 here doesn't mean you have the same thing. Okay, remember, your body and my body is not the same. We are not the same shape, we are not the same size, we don't have the same bust, we don't have the same underbust circumference, you know, so body differs. Okay, so you can actually have anything. Okay, I also want you to know that the fact that 8.5 is close to 8.4 doesn't mean you will have the same answer that is a bit close. Okay, it can actually like vary, especially if you're using this contour pattern. Okay, especially if you are using this snatch pattern. Okay, so what we are going to do now, you are going to add this together. 8.5 plus 8.4 going to give us 17.1. Okay, so this is going to give us 17.1 inch. So guys, hope you understand how we arrive here. So hope you understand how we arrive here. We took our underbust circumference, which is on the pattern, which I label as PU. Okay, and the front side gave me 8.5 and the back side gave me 8.4, and then I added that together, which gave me 17.1. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my round underbust circumference on myself. Okay, so I'm going to label that as natural underbust, that is NU. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to take on myself. So go ahead and measure your round underbust circumference. So mine is 29, so I'm going to label it as NU, which is natural underbust 29. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and then divide that by 2. Okay, so this NU is my round underbust circumference, the measurement I took of myself. So I'm going to divide that by 2. So 29 divided by 2. 29 divided by 2 is going to give us 14.5 inch. Okay, that is 14.4. Okay, so this is my natural underbust. I divided it by 2, which gave me 14.5. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, since 14.5 is smaller than 17.5, so I'm going to minus the 17.1. I'm going to minus the 14.5 from the 14.4. That is 14.5 inches. Hope this is clear. So 17.1 minus 14.4 is going to give us 2.7. Okay, so I'm going to have 2.7. So this is 2.7 as my answer. Okay, so I'm having 2.7. So this 2.7, I'm going to divide it by 2. Okay, so when I divide it by 2, I will have 1 point something and some fraction. Okay, so there is no need of that fraction since it's very small. So I'm just going to use 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to use 1 inch. Hope this is clear. So no matter what you have, so some cases you will end up having 3 inches after dividing by 2. Some cases you might even end up having 2 inches, 2 and something inches. So whatever you have after dividing by 2, if it exceed 1 inch, use 1 inch, but if it's below 1 inch, use half inch. Okay, so if you have something like 0.7, use half inch. If you have 0.3, use half inch. Sometimes there are some patterns, there are some bodies after doing all this calculation, remember, you realize that you have no remainder at all, then use half inch. If yours is exceeding 1 inch, once you divide the final answer by 2 and it's exceeding 1 inch, go ahead and use 1 inch. Okay, so this 1 inch, what I'm going to do with it now, I'm going to come over to my underbust. I'm going to go out by 1 inch. Okay, so I'll come over to this other side. I'll also go out by 1 inch. Okay, and then I'm going to take my curve ruler. So I'm going to take my curve ruler, and then I'll connect it to my bust point like this. Come over to the other side. I will do the same thing. Okay, so guys, when you are done, what you are going to do, you're going to bring it down. Okay, so all you need to do is just to bring it down like this, and then come over here, also bring it down. Okay, so bring both down. After bringing both down, what you're going to do, you're going to take the circumference. Okay, this is 0.5, and then this 0.4 is actually supposed to still be 0.5, so I think it's the way I brought it down. So guys, I don't want you to be confused here. It's supposed to be 0.5, 0.5, since the other side is 0.5. So here it's also supposed to be 0.5 because it's the same 1 inch we went out with. Okay, so it should be my ruling that brought about the difference. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to add that together. Okay, so 0.5 plus 0.5. This is my 0.5. This is 0.5, remember. Okay, so I'm going to fold another 0.5. which is going to give me 1.2 inches. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to replace it. Okay, so I'm going to replace the 1.2 inches that we are taking out from here. Okay, so hope this is clear. I'm just going to connect it back like this. Okay, so I'm also going to bring it down. So guys, hope this is clear. Remember, we are going to sew it off, so all we did is just to replace it. Okay, so we won't end up shorting it. Okay, so I'm going to take this down, so go ahead and bring it down like this, then also bring it down like this. Okay, so hope this is clear. So the next thing we are going to do is for you to come over to your shoulder. Okay, so come over to your shoulder, take your shoulder measurement. So this is 4 inches, as you can see. So I'm going to divide 4 inches by 2. So 4 inches divided by 2 is going to give me 2. So I'll go ahead and then mark the 2 inches, and then I'll take my straight ruler and then I'll connect it back to my bust point. So guys, hope this is clear. So all I did was to divide my shoulder by 2 and then I connected it back to my bust point. So hope this is clear. So guys, the next thing we are going to do now, we are going to slit this place open. Okay, so we are going to slit this place open to our bust point. Okay, so go ahead, take your paper scissors and then slit it open at this point. Very careful, just slit it open, stop it there. Okay, so when you're done, what you are going to do, you're also going to open this point up because we are going to close our side dart. Okay, so that you're able to close your side dart. So just come over here and then slit it open also. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to extend this my bust point to this end. Okay, so I just extended it. So just come over here and then close your side dart. Okay, so just close your side dart like this. Then I'm going to use my paper tape. I'm going to hold it at that point. To hold this point also down like this. Okay, so when you're done doing that, what you're going to do, you're going to take the measurement of your shoulder distance. Okay, the distance you just splitted, you are going to take the measurement of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the measurement of my distance. Okay, so what I have here is 3.2. Okay, so what I have here is 3.2, as you can see. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide this 3.2 by 4. Okay, so 3.2 divided by 4, I'm going to use my tape. This is 3.2. Okay, so I'm going to fold my tape into 2 to that 3.2, and then I'm also going to fold it from that point to make it up 4. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so this is what I'll be having. Okay, so I'll come over to this side of the slitted shoulder, my armhole side. I'm going to go in by the inches that I have now. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, from this point I'm going to connect it back to my bust point. So guys, hope this is clear. What will determine the distance you have here is what you are using as your side dart. Okay, so that is what will determine how open or how many inches your distance will be. Okay, so I want you to know that whatever you are using, whatever you have, just divide it by 4, and then on this side mark out that inches. Okay, after dividing by 4, whatever you have, just connect it to your bust point. So guys, hope this is clear. The next thing we are going to do, you are going to come over here. Okay, so you're going to come over here, you're going to take off your masking tape, your paper tape. Okay, so we are going to open this place up. As you open, you can actually see you already have a mark here. So all you need to do is just to open it up with your scissors. Be careful not to cut it off. Okay, so be careful not to cut it off. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to secure it at that point very well with a masking tape. Okay guys, so this is it. So what we are going to do next, we're going to come over here. So what we're going to do now is just come over here. We are going to close this off. So what we have here, we are going to close it off. We are going to close this off. We won't be needing this. We won't be needing this. So we are going to go ahead and then close it off. Okay, so just go ahead and then close it off. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so I already closed it off, as you can see. So this is it. So whatever I have, this was what I have. My mark is still showing, as you can see. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to replace what I close off. Okay, you can actually measure. You can actually open and then measure. Okay, so whatever you have, just come over here and then replace it, and then recreate your armhole. Okay, so we are going to create another armhole now. So come over here and then create a new armhole. Okay guys, so hope this is clear. So just come over here and then create a new armhole. So as you can see, this my line I have here, this my shoulder line is already broken, as you can see. So all you need to do is just to straighten it up to meet your new armhole like this. Okay, so just straighten it up to meet your new armhole. So this is it for the upper part. So we are going to create our sweetheart neckline. So at this point, it actually depends on you. It depends on what you want. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, except you want to do what I'm doing. So for me, I'm going to go out from my chest line on the armhole side by 2 inches, as you can see. So this is my 2 inches. I just marked it here, and then I'm going to take my curve ruler. So like I said, this point actually depends on you. Okay, so it depends on what you want. If you want to actually make it deep, you want to expose your bust, is actually your choice. Okay, so it's just a matter of choice around here. Okay, except you want to do the same thing I'm doing. So I'm going up by 2 inches from my chest line, that is on the armhole area. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect it now from my bust point. Okay, so I'm using my bust point, then back to that 2 inches. So I'm just going to connect it like this. Okay, so this is it. So what I'm going to do, this is my waistline. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down by 8 inches. Okay, so I'm going to come down by 8 inches from my waistline, and then I'll go ahead and then mark this like this. Okay, so after creating a line, all I'm going to do now after creating a line is to bring this down. Okay, it's just to bring this to meet my 8 inches that I already mark. Okay, so hope this is clear. Just bring your darts down. Okay, so I'm just going to bring these darts down like this. Okay, so I'm just going to bring it down like this, then bring it down like this. Okay, so this is it. I just brought it down. So what we are going to do now, this is my center front. I label this as my center front. Okay, so this is my center front, and then this is my side front. So hope this is clear. To do next, we're going to go over to the back pattern. So all you need to do, just like what we did at the front, you are going to come down by 8 inches. Okay, so come down by 8 inches. Okay, so after creating the line, all you need to do is to also bring that leg down. Okay, so just like I did on the front pattern, remember I went up by 2 inches, so I'm going to do the same thing with the back pattern so that it will align. So from your chest line, go up by 2 inches, and then I'll come over here, and then I'll mark ½ inch. Then I'm going to go ahead, and then I'm going to create a curve. Okay, so a very slant curve like that, and then I'm going to bring this up. So I'm going to take my dart up to that point. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here. I am going to mark 2 inches. Okay, so I'm going to mark 2 inches here. Okay, so I'm going to connect it from these 2 inches. I'm going to connect it from this point to that 2 inches like this. Okay, so what we'll be needing for the back pattern is this. Okay guys, so I think we should use the middle dart leg. Okay, so let's use the middle dart leg instead. Okay, so just use the normal dart line. Let me use another ink marker. Okay guys, so this is what we are going to be using. Okay, so this is the only part we'll be needing for the back pattern. So we are going to take this whole of this part off. Okay, so what we are going to do now, this is it. So this is the back yoke. Okay, so if you don't understand what is going on here, what I'm saying, we are going to use this and not use this. When we are tracing out, you understand what I'm saying and what is going on. This is it for the back pattern. So all we need to do now, we are going to go ahead and then trace out. So what we are going to do, just get another fresh paper. Get another fresh paper, and then we are going to place it under. I'm going to use my red pen to mark how we are going to trace. So that is it for our center front. I'm going to get my tracing wheel and then trace out. So watch how I'm going to trace out. So I'm going to trace out like this, from this point like this, like this. And then like this. Okay. At the point where your yoke is going to start from, just mark. Okay, so mark like this to indicate that is where your yoke is going to stop. Okay, so just mark there. Okay, so I'm also going to trace it like this. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. Okay, and then whatever my tracing wheel is showing, I'm going to trace it out just the way it is. So what you're going to do, you're going to come over now. We're going to go ahead and then add ½ inch as your allowance. This is it for the center front. Just go ahead, take your paper, scissors, and then cut out. Okay guys, so this is it. So I'm going to set this aside. So guys, I did not realize I didn't press play when I actually mark out where we are going to trace out for the side front. So I'm sorry about that. So I'm going to explain it. Like as you can see, this is our side front. So we are going to start from here, trace out like this, like this, like this, just the red line I marked. Okay, so this is how we are going to trace out for our side front. Okay, so all you need to do now is to come over here, open this point up, then close your side dart. Okay, do well to close it. Okay, so after closing off, all you need to do is to place another fresh paper under. Okay, then go ahead, watch how I'm going to trace out. So you're going to trace out like this. So this space, you won't be needing it, so come over here. Okay, so you are tracing out like this, like this, like this, like this, and then like this. Okay, and when you're done, take this off. So whatever your tracing wheel is showing, go ahead and then trace it out with your ruler. Remember, this is the side, so you're going to come over here, add 1 inch. Also add half inch. Guys, so this is for our side fronts. Cut out. So this is for the side front. Okay, so I'm also going to set this aside. I'm going to trace out the yoke. So to trace out the yoke, remember you are going to close up this point. Okay, so just come over here, close off this point like this. Okay, so close it off like this, and then go ahead and trace out the yoke. I'm going to take my pattern off now. Whatever my tracing wheel is showing, I'll just make it visible with my marker. Okay guys, so what you're going to do, you're going to add your half inch like this, like this, like this. Okay, so I'm going to label it as front yoke. Okay, so go ahead, add your half inch allowance. So this is it. Go ahead and then cut out. Okay, so this is it for the front piece. So we are going to trace out the back now. So guys, we are going to trace out the back pattern. Okay, so I'm going to place another paper under. So we are going to trace out. We are going to trace out like this. Just watch how I'm going to trace out. So watch me. I'm going to go like this. Remember, these are our 8 inch. So I'm going to trace out like this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove my pattern paper now. I'm going to go ahead and then trace it out with my pen. So what we are going to do, we're going to go ahead and then add your half inch. Okay, so at the side, add your 1 inch allowance at the side first. We are also going to add half inch at the down, but I don't have enough space here, so I'm going to add extra paper there. So go ahead, take your paper, scissors, and then cut out. Okay guys, so this is it. So I'm going to set this aside. Then I'm going to bring another fresh paper and bring back the pattern. Okay, so this is where we are going to trace out at the back yoke. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. So this is where we are going to trace out at the back yoke. So go ahead, take your tracing wheel and then trace out like this. So I'm going to put the pattern off, and whatever is showing there, I'm going to use my pen and then make it visible. Add your half inch round. Okay, so we are going to add half inch round. Okay guys, so I'm going to label this as back yoke. Okay, so go ahead and then cut out. So guys, so this is it for the upper part of the pattern. Okay, and then this is it for the back. Now, so we are going to cut out the down parts. So guys, so this is it for the front. For the front, the down part. Okay, so I just went ahead to seal off the dart. Okay, to avoid confusion. Okay, so we are not making use of the dart, so we excluded the dart allowance. So I hope this helps to avoid it looking like too much is going on it. So I just decided to seal off the darts. Okay, so we are not making use of it. So this is it for the front. So I'm going to set this aside. Then I'm going to bring the back pattern. This is the back. So at the waistline, we are going to reduce it by some certain inches. Remember, this is already a snatch pattern, and then we already take out some part of the back on our upper part. So after snatching your waist, it's actually going to reduce your waist circumference by some inches. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to take off some inches from the waistline. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take off about 2 inches. Okay, so as you can see, remember this was the half inches we went in with, so I included everything. Okay, so hope there's no confusion here. I included everything, so it's from my back. I marked the 2 inches. Okay, so you're going to take your curve ruler. Okay, so you're going to take your curve ruler, and then you are going to curve it back in. So watch how I'm going to cut out now. Okay, so what I'm going to do, watch how I'm going to cut out like this. Then I'm going to cut this off. Okay, so I'm also going to cut out like this. So remember, we are not making use of that. Okay, so you are not making use of that, and then we're just going to trade this off. Okay, so this is it for the back pattern. So we are going to cut out the upper piece. So I'm using my nude crepe. Okay, so whatever material you are using, you can actually use whatever material. Okay, so I'm going to get my center front. Okay, so this is my center front. So we are going to cut this on fold. So I'm going to pin down. So when you're done pinning, take your fabric scissors and then cut out. Okay guys, so this is it. So it's on fold. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut another piece for this because I'm using this nude crepe as my lining. Okay, I'm also using it as my lining. So I'm going to also go ahead and then cut out another piece. So this is it for the center front. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. Then we are going to cut out the side front. So this is the side front. I'm actually folding my fabric because I want to cut 2 pieces at a go. I'm going to go ahead and then pin down. Cut out. So this is for the side front. Okay, so what I'm going to do, remember I said I'm using it as my lining also, so I'm going to cut 2. So this is it. So I'm going to set it aside. I'm going to cut the back piece. So guys, after pinning down, go ahead and then cut out. So I'm going to cut out another 2 pieces for my lining. Okay, so the side front is actually 4 pieces. Remember, like I said, I'm using it as lining, and then the back is 4 pieces, and then the center front is 2. Okay, so this is it for the crepe. So we are going to cut out our skin length. So guys, we are going to bring in your yoke. Okay, so this is my back yoke, and then this is my front yoke. We are going to place the front part on fold. So I'm going to pin it down. So when you're done, take your fabric scissors and then cut out. So I'm also going to line this yoke. Okay, so I'm also going to line this yoke. So I'm going to cut out another piece. Okay guys, so this is it. Okay, so I have 2 pieces here. So I'm going to cut the back yoke. So I'm also placing it on fold. That is because I want to cut 2 at a go. So I'm also going to cut out another one for the lining. So this is it. Okay, so I have 4 pieces here. Okay, 4 pieces for the back yoke, and then 2 pieces for the center front, for the front yoke, okay, which I cut on fold. So I'm going to also set this aside. So guys, I'm going to cut out my sleeve. Sorry I did not make mention of basic sleeve. I will also be needing basic sleeve from the beginning, okay. So it's just our normal basic sleeve. So we are going to go ahead and then cut out basic sleeve. This is my basic sleeve. Okay, so I added extra paper on my pattern. Okay, so I just added extra paper, as you can see. Okay, so I added extra paper. Okay, that's because I want to have my allowance on the pattern. Okay, because the one we are actually creating a mermaid skirt, okay, and the down part is going to be neck, so I cannot add my allowance here. Okay, so that's why I want to have it on my pattern to be, so that everything will be easy for me. I'm trying to make it easy for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add my 1 inch as allowance. Okay, so I just added my 1 inch allowance. Okay, so I want to actually use a mermaid skirt. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I want the fullness to actually start from 4 inches above my knee level. Okay, so this is actually your choice. This depends on you, it depends on what you want. Okay, I want it to start from 4 inches above my knee level. Okay, so I'm going to mark my 4 inch. Okay, so like I said, I want it to start from 4 inches above my knee level. Hope this is clear. So I'm going to mark it that way. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the measurement of, I'm going to take the circumference of this point. Okay, so this is 10 inches. 10 inches divided by 2 will give me 5. So I'm going to mark 5. Then I'll come over here. This is also 10 inches. And then I'll mark 5. Then I'll also come over here. This is also 10 inches divided by 2 will give me 5. So I'll come over here. 10 inches divided by 2 give me 5. So come over here. Okay, so if you can actually measure, you can also measure. Okay, so this one is not up to 10. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fold my tape into 2 to that point. Hope you are seeing what I'm doing. So this is not up to 10. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fold my tape into 2 to that point. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so I'm going to fold my tape into 2 to that point, like this. So whatever I have, I'm going to tick it. Then I'll come over to the down. I will also measure. I'm also going to fold into 2 to that point. Okay, so whatever I have, I'm going to also tick it like this. Okay, so after ticking it, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my straight ruler and then I'm going to create a straight line. Okay, so guys, when you're done doing that, what you're going to do, you're going to slit this point. You're going to go ahead and then slit open. This is what you'll be having. So you are going to also take it to your allowance side. So slit it like this. Okay, so don't cut out. Okay, so when you're done doing that, what you're going to do, you're going to bring in whatever you are using as your fabric. Okay, so I'm going to take this off and bring in my fabric. So guys, so this is the fabric I will be using. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to make use of 26 inches width. Okay, so that is 26 inches width. I'm going to fold that into 2. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure 26 inches. Okay, so guys, hope you're seeing this. So I want to make use of 26 inches width. Okay, so this is my 26. I don't want it to be too much, so this is my 26 inches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold it into 2. Remember I said I'm going to use the width of 26 inches. You can actually use more than this depending on how full you want yours to be. Okay, so I'm making use of 26 inches width. So I'm going to place that on fold. So I'm going to pin it down. So now guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring back the pattern we already slashed. I'm going to place this side on my center front. Then I'll go ahead and then pin down. So this is it. So after pinning down, I'm going to take this up so you will see what I'm going to do. Okay, so guys, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take what I have now to my 26 inches width. Okay, so guys, hope you're seeing it. So I just took it to my 26 inches width. Okay, as you can see. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and then pin this down at that point. So guys, what you're going to do, come over to this down part. Okay, so try as much as possible to connect it together to the other side. Okay, so guys, just try to connect it. Okay, you know this is actually net. Okay, so it's very difficult for me. Okay, so just do well to connect it together. Okay, so when you're done with that, just go ahead and then cut out. So this is it. So guys, so this is the back. So what we are going to do, we are also going to add ½ inch as your sewing allowance at the side. 1 inch, sorry, not ½ inch. Go ahead, add 1 inch. Okay, so you're going to come over here at the back side. You're going to add 1 inch also. So when you're done, take your paper scissors and then cut out. Just like we did at the front, we are going to do the same thing with the back pattern. Okay, remember at the front we also went up by 4 inches from our knit line. So we are going to do the same thing with the back pattern. So go up by 4 inch. Okay, so just like we did, take the measurement. Okay, this is 11. So just take the measurement like this, fold it into 2. So whatever you have left, okay, just fold it into 2, then mark at that point. Okay, then come over here, do the same thing. Okay, so just mark it down, whatever you have, fold your tape into 2 like this, and then mark it. Okay, so when you're done doing that, take your ruler and then connect the whole points together. You're going to slash open. And when you're done slashing, okay, so to that point, so what you're going to do, you're going to take it to this side. Okay, so you're going to take it to you're going to take it to the side. Okay, remember this is our center back. This is the side that have our zipper. So this is our side allowance. Okay, so you're going to take it to your side. You're going to take this off. Okay, so bring in whatever fabric you are using. Remember this is net I'm using. So bring in whatever fabric you are using. Okay. So I'm going to measure my 26 inches width. So guys, so this is it. Okay, so this is my 26 inches width. Okay, so this is it. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do the same thing. But don't do that. Bring back your back pattern. You're going to bring it back here. Okay, so you're going to pin it down on the side. Okay, so come over here and then pin it down. Okay guys, so when you're done pinning, we're going to take this part, okay, to the 26 inches width. Okay, so just take this part to the 26 inches width, then pin it down at that point. So if you're actually using fabric that you can actually mark out the edge, go ahead and mark out. That is depending on your fabric. If you're using fabric that you can actually mark out the edge like this, so go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm using net, so I cannot. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and cut out. Okay guys, so this is it. So guys, so what you're going to do, go ahead and then use whatever you want as your lining. Okay, so I'm just going to cover this place up. Okay, so at this point it's actually your choice. I want to use 20 inches length as my lining, so I'm just going to add ½ inch. Okay, so I'm just going to add ½ inch as my allowance. That is, I'm making use of 21 inches length. So it's half lining. I want to line in half. Okay, so guys, like I said, this is actually your choice. Okay, if you want to line full lining, depend on what you're working with, do whatever you want. Okay, so this is it. So I'm also going to bring back the front pattern. I'm also going to come down by 1 inch. Okay guys, so this is it. So go ahead and then cut out your lining. So guys, so I splitted this video into two, so check out my next post on how we'll join this whole piece together to achieve the finished look that you saw at the beginning of this video.